Hello and welcome to another week of our Survivor Recap Chit Chat, season 41. But as Shan says, drop the four, hit
Hit the
the
one.
one, because stuff has been crazy this season. I know they wanted to breathe some new life into it. I gotta say, I think they're doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the fact that they threw another twist in and added an entire other player we didn't know exists this week. She just shows up. She just shows up, and at tribal and says, "Don't worry, stay calm. I've got this."
What?
Oh,
Um,
weird.
so yeah, not really a lot of fallout after last week. They got back to camp. I thought maybe we might see some more of that, but it was obvious why they had to do what they did, or they thought they had to do what they did.
Right.
But I think they had a lot of cleanup to do.
Well, yeah, and this whole picking is it Yasa, picking it apart, are they together? Are they not together? And I'm like, the whole time, okay, I get it. You need to know where they stand. Okay. You can make an easy target not knowing where they stand. Got that. But on the flip side, they are three people, and there's how many of the rest of you?
Mm-hmm.
Just let it be. Just let it be. Don't go, where are they? Where do they stand? Where do they stand? Just count them as out and play that way.
Yeah.
Why stir it up? This is why live tribals go nuts because there's these little doubts. Don't have a doubt. They're not with us. The end. And then just
Yeah.
play forward.
But
It didn't make any sense.
the whole episode, I just felt that Danny and Deshawn and Shan and Leanna are like fracturing so badly.
They were trying
Um,
crazy.
like
Oh
yeah,
my
like they
gosh.
cannot they're doing what the cookout didn't do, which is they can't put their own personal stuff behind them.
Should just set it
Like
aside, talk
uh
it out.
like
I
Deshawn
mean,
is not going to be spoken to that way, um
I don't know,
and
but
I
okay, between Shan being micromanaging
yeah.
everything and Deshaun being like, "Stop telling me what to do," when no one's actually literally just go with it.
Yeah.
No one's pointing a finger at you and saying you have to do this.
Right.
It, I would have rocked out into the ocean and just been like, la
I'm
la la
out
la
of
la
here.
la.
But I get why Shan is like being so, they would say pushy, but
Hmm.
I think she's so excited over what she's hearing, and her head is going a mile a minute, and she's trying to figure out like, listen. And when she says to them, listen, she's saying like, she's not saying do what I say. She's
Right,
meaning
right.
like,
Hear what
let's
I'm
hear this.
saying and let me
Mm,
see what you think about it. Let's
mm,
let's have this as a dialogue. And
yeah.
I don't I think she is naturally a leader. I don't feel like she's bossing anybody around. I just think she's just spitting out every thought process that she has and seeing
Hmm.
what people stick to. I don't know. Again, there's editing. We're not there. It's not a
True.
live feed by any means.
Very true.
But from where I'm sitting, it does not feel like somebody telling somebody what they are going to do.
I mean, yeah, I didn't feel that way to me either. I felt like he was being a little too
It's
like
just getting real, yeah, real
touchy about it. Like,
cranky and
calm down. Yeah.
and she kind of but the fact that she was all like, "I know that I need to approach him in a certain
Yes,
way,
he shouldn't have said. Yeah.
because I don't want to demean his masculine." She
Well,
pulled his masculinity into
and she said it. She brought it up at tribal too, and said something about learning how to speak to someone the way they need to be heard, which is not what
Right.
you're doing. She opened it out there, so the camera went to Deshaun for a second. So I wonder if he's going to be like, "Don't call me out in front of other people," even though other people might not know that that's maybe
Right.
they do. I don't know.
Well, and it's a real
But
shame because it always amazes me when we see these flip sides. So I'm always like, okay, so where's the editing changed the story for us and we weren't seeing parts of people? Or has something really happened in the last 3 days? Because last week it was like, you know what? That's the game. You can be mad if you want, but this is the game you
yes,
signed up for. And I'm like, really
yes,
got a good head on my shoulders about everything and not
right.
having any anger about it. And now he's like, grr.
Because Danny was the one that was upset, and he was just like, "Oh, well, whatever." He rolled with
Yeah.
it. Now this
Yeah.
week it's kind of like the opposite. I wonder if that's just being hungry.
It could be. It could be being
So
hungry. It could be the fact that he thought he had a little bit more of a handle of what was happening in the game until
mm,
last tribal. So maybe he's a little more tense now because of that, or maybe he's just sick of it. I
maybe
mean,
maybe he made this alliance with these 4 people, and he's realizing some of them he doesn't really like.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that could be it. So speaking of being super hungry, they go to reward challenge,
yeah,
right?
yep,
Um, and right away they say that someone is going to sit out, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, okay, but it was the what are we going to get? What are we going to get?
Right.
We're not getting grilled cheese, Christy. We're getting grilled cheese.
Erica's
Like
that's
he's just
grilled cheese.
growling.
That's not a reward. I'm like, it is when you haven't eaten for 3 weeks.
But, like, what was the deal? Like, Jeff is just his
I wonder,
enthusiasm is off the charts.
or maybe somebody did some. They probably wouldn't have missed this opportunity, but maybe someone said their favorite food was grilled cheese, and they were really playing it up because on
I
those
mean, I
questionnaires or
don't know.
whatever.
Okay, because like, honestly, the way that Jeff was presenting that it was going to be grilled cheese, it was like, like your mom, you've had young kids around and
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
like, "I don't wanna eat that," and you're like, "But it's grilled
yeah,
cheese,"
yeah, 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 yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
"Come
no, you're
on."
right.
I don't
Funny.
know. I'm like,
Hmm.
I kind of wonder if there wasn't another take. Like the first take was like, we're gonna have grilled cheese and like it's just crickets. Everyone's like, really?
Grilled cheese.
Like,
Pass.
okay, roll again, roll again.
Um, so they draw rocks again to make the 2 teams, and once again Erica is the odd man out, which I thought was like, what's the
That
anyway.
Erica,
But immediately, Mr. Gott has arrived. Hey there.
here
How's
he
it going?
is.
It's
Here he is.
going, doing that Thursday thing. Um, so we were talking about the first challenge and how Erica drew the black rock again, or gray rock, or whatever it is. The
Oh, that sounded refreshing.
yes,
Instantly, it sounds
have a
great.
Coke and a smile. So, but Xander decides because he
Oh,
wants to
Xander.
look for the clue.
Yeah, yeah, and okay, he like I mean, we know what he was up to. Anybody, if you're really savvy, if you're in it and you're savvy and you understand this kid, you know what he's probably up to. But I feel like he was like after all of that butterfly relatives stuff that
Yes! He
this was so much more convincing. Like I feel like he's really practiced the like saying a line
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
you know, yeah.
Yeah, he could have even said something like, "I'm lactose intolerant. I can't have the grilled cheese anyway."
I can't have the grilled cheese. Yeah.
See, okay, or whatever. But so he sits over there. Now I want to say though, he really biffed it because he had a long time,
It
right?
was
You have
right there.
you're watching the relay. You're seeing, okay, the first people get up. Everyone's gonna be watching. At some point, when now that last person was going on, all the 4 people in the boat are looking at the
Yeah,
person coming.
nobody is
Nobody's
looking at you.
looking at you.
Everyone's the
Dude,
opposite direction.
get down on
Mhm.
the ground. No one is looking at you
Yeah,
at this point. You might have like about a good 20-second
and
window.
was it Erica that, like, landed with all 4 first? Like like, she, like, did it wasn't even like a belly flop or not I mean, Erica, yeah, I think it was Erica, but, like, it was like knees and hands just
Right
it
in. Yeah.
it was like behind her, here comes Heather, and like I'm expecting something similar to what we just and Heather just like dives in, or not Heather, I'm sorry, Tiffany.
Tiffany.
It was
Tiffany.
Tiffany, yeah.
She
And I'm
dove
like,
in.
okay, these are the last 2. Look at like there's no way he should be looking for the clue. I thought
He
we
was
were
like
gonna
doing
see
like just
like
casual glances. No, he should have been down there acting like he's tying his shoe.
Okay.
yeah,
He's
I
young
had
and handy.
I had 2 emotions with that. First, when Xander made the offer, I went, "Oh my God, he's brilliant. How did I not see this? I thought he was a moron."
right.
Then when he couldn't find it on a bench that's 3 feet wide with only really 2 hiding places, I went, "My God, he's a moron."
Well,
I don't think he really
Why
even
wouldn't
needed
that be
to
the
use
first
his.
place you'd put your hand?
That's what
It's
I mean. I don't
underneath.
think you even have to look. You could have just put your hands
Right.
underneath there.
Or at least you didn't even see him really checking out. Wouldn't you be like sitting there and running your hands along the underneath part
But
of
he's
it
got
along
an
the way?
advantage already, right? He's already holding. He's got an
He has his immunity idol and his extra vote.
And an extra vote. So he's already a target. What does he care? Get on your knees.
Right.
Lay on your back. At that point,
Right.
at least they give you credit for being a smart player.
I don't
Something.
even think he was in any danger of being looked at, really.
Look, I'm just gonna say it
Maybe,
like
I don't
this:
know.
if Tony could get away with all of the things that he did right in front of people, there's no reason that this boy should not have been able to do that.
In fairness, he's not nearly as charming as Tony.
He doesn't have the Tony thing.
The
Yeah,
way
yeah.
the way it was run out was that you had the obstacle course that went across, right? Then there was the platform.
Yep.
His thing was like off to the side even. Like, why couldn't he have? It's hot out there. We know they said how hot it is. Why couldn't he?
Yeah.
Does he have to sit on the bench? Why wasn't he sitting on the edge with his feet in the water?
Or sit on the ground, right? And just lay back.
And like make it like he's trying to keep cool a little bit in the water, put his legs in the water or something. And yeah, then he would have been a better eye level. But no one's gonna know what you're doing.
No, they would have known, but who cares? At that point, he has two things. He already has a target. There's no getting away from that.
I think it's worth the risk. And I don't think he put himself very at risk. It wasn't over the top. It was like a 3.
And I thought Erica was going to tell him to get bent because she absolutely knew what he was doing. And I thought she was going to go, no, I'll go sit on the bench. It's all good. They give you hammers and stuff when you sit on the bench.
Yeah, like a giant hammer that has no
giant
business
hammer to
being
stop
at a beach.
time.
Oh, right.
Stop that time.
Right.
Stop that time.
Black sand. It had to be black sand.
Black sand.
It could not be gray sand or
white
fuchsia
sand. It can't be any other thing. Black.
Couldn't be regular sand. Nope.
Dangerous.
Nope.
It's dangerous sand.
Nope. Nope. That's some smoke monster sand, is what that is.
So they run the relay. They get over there to the puzzle, and Evie had it together like
boom, like 3 seconds, done.
Okay, so and then she tells people, smart or dumb?
Dumb.
Dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb.
Mm-hmm. That's
she
one of those things.
Anything.
Okay,
she
like
didn't have to
today,
say it was Survivor related. That's a very common puzzle. And so it didn't have to be Survivor related. It could have been like, oh, we did this in a freaking science class at one point or geometry class or something. She could have made something up. Yeah, I know this. I've done this puzzle before. That's all.
Yeah. Or say something like dumb luck.
But do not say it's because you watched other episodes of Survivor and know the things. So
yes, even though it's what you should do, like you should be practicing everything. They repeat games, Big Brother 2, study them all, practice them all. Even if you know everyone else should be doing that, you need to assume that they're not and that you shouldn't say anything about it.
Right. And not only does she say it to her team, but then Jeff hears her. So of course Jeff's going to tell everybody.
Yeah.
You all see.
Stir that pot.
And she was very excited. I mean, she probably didn't think, what are the odds that she's just going to happen to watch an episode and that same puzzle is going to come up for her,
Well, do you want to know? This is so great. She posted on Twitter today. She showed a picture of her actual like the little she took like a beaded necklace and cut it up and glued them together and made a puzzle, like made a miniature of the puzzle. She showed a picture of it on Twitter today, like, here's the actual thing I was practicing on, and it was pretty funny. Like, maybe you should have waited until you were back home with Twitter to tell everybody.
Eek. So I thought it was silly too. I hope it doesn't really bite her. She had a great episode. I was super very happy for her.
But you know what? They've already she already knows there's a few targets pointed at her.
She does, but there's a few targets pointed at other people too. So if she can just do enough to kind of get by some of those people that are targeting her being gone.
Like, this person taught me how to do this. Like last night they sat down and said they practiced every challenge and they taught me how to do this. And without their help, I wouldn't have won this.
And they'll be like, what are you talking about? So they win their grilled cheese, and because of her
grilled cheese.
Yeah, her grilled cheese. And they go back and they have their food and everything. It's Evie, Ricard, Danny, Deshaun. Was Deshaun in that group too?
Yes, I think so.
And come on, who else was in there? Nasir? No, I don't remember.
No, Nasir went and got the papaya. So
He
no.
got the
that's
papaya.
right, that's right,
because
that's right.
it was Leanna, Shant, Nasir, Xander.
No, he didn't get to
play.
go anything because he sat out.
Yeah, because he didn't play.
he
They
didn't
were the
go.
ones that were out.
Yeah, but there wasn't a lot of talking at the.
Did they actually even
grilled
show
cheese.
the grilled cheese?
There wasn't really nothing to be shown. So they must not have talked strategy or anything.
Well, they were too busy filming Leanna and Shant crying. And then did you notice that you didn't see him crying, but like you could tell that Xander he had been crying, right? Like, did you see his eyes? Because he was
his eyes looked
I think
red.
he sat and he cried with them, and I'm like, brilliant. Even if you were just like, that was your chance to just let go of some emotions you were carrying, that is a good time to do it.
Absolutely. 100%. So so Nasir feels bad for him, so he goes out and gets these papayas, which I'm just going to say right now did not look ripe enough. Just going to say. I don't know if those are going to give you some.
I don't know much about papaya ripening, but
I know I have learned something about papaya. If Shan is enjoying the papaya, do not even take a little piece.
Yes.
Okay, has she gone from first to worst in this game?
She's hangry, super hangry.
She was great, and now she's horrible. She's like the
worst
player.
But I will say this. I will say this, though. This is what is humorous to me. Okay. These two, her and Ricard, I'm going to tell you.
Yes.
Okay, so did she have every right to be annoyed and snippy when she was starving and he had just got done eating? Yeah, sure. I mean, but she does come across as a little bit whiny in the situation. Should Ricard have not touched their food? Probably. He shouldn't have touched it. But this is the best part of all, is when he's sitting down and he's talking with the guys later and they're like, you didn't touch that papaya, did you? Like, you didn't. And he's like, yeah, I did. I did.
Well,
like, no,
they had 3 papayas and they were big.
Right.
But here's
the
best
part. Those
are
the last 3 papayas in the jungle. There's more.
The best part of all of it, though, is that Ricard goes, wow, any food that's on this island is supplied by the island, and therefore it's the tribe's food. No, dude, it's whoever went and climbed down and gave, this not exactly.
Well, Shan was very protective over a papaya she didn't provide.
Yeah.
Right, she didn't.
And I think that given the fact,
what has she done? She doesn't do anything anymore except
But here's the best kickoff of all of it. So on Ricard's Twitter, he has announced the best thing about all of this is that I found out I am allergic to papaya.
The kicker.
And then that made me realize again why I could never be in this game, because I am also allergic to half the fruits. So I would starve to death. I'm like, every fruit they eat, I would break out into hives. Be done for.
All right. Not going on
that's a hive on the island. You got 82 mosquito bites.
Yeah, really. Who knows?
Yeah, no one would. Yeah, right.
It's a good time to get over your allergy, probably. Immersion.
This is the time.
So
yeah, papaya gate.
The 2 of them, they needed each other and they stuck together and they were ready to go into the merge together. And she's made this little alliance with, of 4. And last week it seemed like she wants to pull Ricard in there, right? But now it's like she acts like she don't need Ricard.
They're like frenemies, right?
Because she's a horrible player now. She was great.
She lost her mind.
I think we have to realize that Ricard was 80% of Ricard.
Sure. And
I've said it before. I really I like Shant, but where did her game come from? She accidentally ended up with idols for people, then voted them out.
She stole them.
Yeah.
In every case, she stole them.
Yeah.
Which, okay, great. That's great that you can do that, but that's a pretty hard game to carry.
Yeah.
Very far.
I mean, if we have a villain this year, she is it.
Well, I don't know if I'd call her the villain.
Well, she's not nice to people, and she steals idols. and she bosses people around. Deshaun's ready to wring her neck.
I didn't. We didn't.
You
We
can
were
tell
talking about that before you got on.
David was totally not here for the first 3 minutes.
Jamie and I, neither of us felt like she was being bossy. We felt like she was being excited, thinking like, I have this information. It's super critical to all of our
Perhaps
games. We need to figure. We need to talk this out.
Okay, let's be fair. Are we graphic or not? Can I swear?
I think we're swear free. Because we're on the thread of swear free.
Is the B word a swear?
Just say B word. We know what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm
She's being a boss.
I'm just saying that Deshaun's a little B. That's all I'm saying. He was a little too sensitive.
Well,
he was getting really B-ish. Yes, he was.
Yeah, but
I think she's annoying.
Shan is annoying.
Yes,
she's getting to the point where she's being annoying.
I mean, I thought she was the greatest player like the first 3 weeks, and now I'm sad when she.
I think her game's just her game's kind of going downhill a bit, which is a shame, but you know.
So like Ricard comes up, he's never had papaya before. Yes, he just came back from a meeting, but he sees this thing that he didn't even. They've been on the 17 days. What are they at now? Wasn't it day 17?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So in all these days you've been out there, you think you know the island, you think you've seen something. Now this is this thing that people are eating that you haven't even seen since you've been on the island.
Why have we been eating papaya for 17 days?
Well, because apparently Nasir just finally found them or decided, I feel bad for them, they're hungry. Maybe
I don't think that the fact that they kept talking about ripe papaya, I think that they just hadn't been ripe enough to pick yet, maybe.
Oh, maybe. So he sees it. Now, if it was me, I probably would have done the same thing. Like, oh my gosh, can I have a little piece? I've never had it before. I just want to taste it. I just want to try it.
Yes. And
I think that's what he was doing, but she freaked out. And you go like, you're still in the game, Shan. You can be as hungry as you want, but you better just go like, all right, but that's your only piece. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
She could have totally handled it a little bit. And the same level, Ricard would have been like, could have been like, okay, sorry, and then walked away. Bye. Yeah. Bye, angry lady. It's fine. Be back. I'll be back for the fruit leftovers. The two of them just, do you know what they are like? They're like two children. And it's like,
but he was only reacting to her though. I felt like he was only. It felt like he was only reacting to the way she acted. Like she acted all and he was like, "Oh," and then he got bent out.
I wonder if maybe.
Are you serious right
now? I wonder if maybe because we don't see all of the conversations. I wonder if this isn't just like a common communication problem that she has, where she just like acts first and then pulls back later. Maybe possibly.
But he did say, Ricard, they did give him some good screen time of him saying like he recognizes what happened. He has to do some damage control because he doesn't want anyone to think that. So he immediately is like, what can I do? So that's smart. That self-awareness will help him because some people don't have that. Right?
No.
Who's not self-aware? Who's not? Who?
Just a few people.
So is that what we, and then we went to the next challenge?
Then they're marching off. Half of them calorie free to their next challenge.
Half of them calorie free, and
some of them with cheese and papaya in their belly.
I mean, to be honest, he took the smallest little sliver of a piece of papaya. It wasn't even.
It was so little.
It was so little. Sorry,
a splinter of fruit.
And it's like.
Did you see the look Nasir gave her? He's like, what? It's a little piece of papaya.
He's like, just let it go.
He's
like, this isn't starving. I know what starving is. You are spoiled.
To be fair, though, she had just been crying before she got the papaya about being hungry. So, whatever.
And like one other thing before we move into this competition, that there are people that can handle. Everybody has a limit on hunger, but that some people can handle hunger a lot longer than other people. And there are people that have like legit mental breakdowns when they're just slightly hungry. I mean, hangry exists for a reason, right? So,
but at day 17, don't you think that that's like the new normal now for your body?
No, it would get worse.
I don't know.
I'm sure it would get worse, but I think I would be fine as long as I could stay busy.
You know what?
In some way.
What this is?
And
a reference you're going to
nobody else
understand.
complains because I'm more hungry when everyone else is talking about how hungry they are.
Here's the reference I think we should use here is that Shant is Ron Weasley in the Deathly Hallows.
She's just thinking about
Cannot
food.
handle hunger.
No.
She's gonna leave the group. She's gonna abandon them.
Why doesn't Jeff have
Harry Potter? That was a Harry Potter reference.
Yes, it was. Jeff should just have like some Snickers bars and like wing them at people.
Right? Just fling them.
That would be funny if like Snickers sponsored him and she was whining and just threw a Snickers at her.
Oh, that'd be great.
Snickers, woman.
She needs a Snickers real bad.
That'd be great.
So yeah, I think she totally overreacted. I'm not saying that what Ricard did was super duper awesome, nice, but it wasn't.
It was bad manners. It was bad manners, but it was not the end of the world.
On a scale of 0 to Johnny Fairplay, it was like a 2.
Exactly. Right.
To be fair, I don't like people eating off of like picking things off my plate without permission because that seems rude. But again, I'm not playing Survivor.
Right.
In Survivor,
I got the sense there was like a group.
No, she had her portion.
Oh, I didn't realize
she was holding her portion, right? Everybody had their little.
I would just be like, you can have a piece of papaya, but it could be $1 million piece of papaya.
Is it worth it to you?
I mean, and if he takes it, he takes it, and if he doesn't, he doesn't.
Yeah. But I don't think that it was worth ruffling an ally.
Papaya, not that great. It's not that great. It's not like he stole your last bite of tiramisu. It was papaya.
I don't know. I think at this point, papaya would be tasting about like the best thing ever in the world right now for those guys.
Maybe they shouldn't have gotten rid of their resident mermaid, and they all would have been eating flounder.
Yeah, she has a better life anyway. She has family and friends that love her.
She's got waiters bringing her flounder on her plate.
She has a better life.
You know, it's funny. Every time I hear the word papaya, and I'm going to date myself with this reference probably, but there's a Steve Miller song called Jungle Love.
Yeah.
And one of the lines in Jungle Love is, "I bought you a crate of papaya that waited all night by your door."
I like papaya.
Every time somebody says papaya, that song just.
In Florida, fun fact, in Florida, if you take the seeds out of your papaya and dry them out and then throw them out your door into the ground, you will grow a papaya tree. You'll have many, many papayas off that one you bought at the Publix. Just saying.
Fun fact. In Shandy's in Shant's like youth, if a bee stole a papaya, she was gonna get shanked and kicked out of the gang. I'm just saying.
For real.
Do not.
If you give a Shan a papaya,
somebody's papaya.
Don't. She will lose it.
Then she'll want.
And the thing is like, yeah, she didn't even have to go and get it, but whatever.
Well, she's gone and gotten anything.
Also, do you think she's okay? Also, guys, this I'm just gonna say, like, as a pastor of a church,
she needs to stop saying that.
Yeah.
Every time.
I know she brought it up a lot in this episode again. Like, and then I have to convince this group and this group and this group
that she my
way's the
preachy.
right way. Like, ooh, that doesn't sound good. Like,
yeah, it doesn't.
I wonder how your parishioners feel about that statement.
So she's real preachy about it's like humble brag.
I want her game to turn back around. I want to root for her again. I like rooting for her.
I think her ship has sailed, honestly, but
she's
that's okay. That's okay because we're seeing some people's game like come alive, and that's exciting.
Yes.
And then you have my man Danny, who just plays hard and shuts up.
Mostly. No, he didn't get a lot of screen time yesterday, and that's probably good for him. That's just
good. Yep.
Right now, that's good. So we go to the immunity challenge. And it's going to be an individual challenge for immunity, and immediately they're going to be doing that thing, which I'm sorry I could not do it. The block, holding the block against the door frame with your head.
Ouch.
Well, I can do it forever.
I would never ever be able to assume that I could do better than all the other players, if that makes sense.
Well, we had a group of people that stepped forward, when they're trying to make a deal, barter with Jeff. So
right. So then they do a deal. They do a deal. You're definitely not going to do that challenge, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, if I go there and I see that's the challenge and I know
Right.
what my skill set is, I'm going to step up and say,
Right.
yeah, I'll step out for the rice, sure.
I
It made
couldn't believe
perfect sense.
she couldn't get anybody initially.
I couldn't believe the people that really thought that they were in danger. They're just like,
Mhm. There's some extreme paranoia going on. So I guess that when we go back to Deshaun, we were talking about last week. Deshaun seems so cool and laid back, and now
right.
he's so maybe that is again another indication of like how much paranoia is going around at camp right now and how much
Now that
stress.
now that they're all living together
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
maybe especially Elias at the tribal before this one
right.
that they're coming off of had a lot of things flipping around, so that might really have kind of shook everybody up. So that's
Yeah,
really good point. Maybe they are all a little paranoid
just a little
now.
bit, maybe.
Yeah. So they go and do their challenge, and people drop. Who steps up?
Like that. 4 minutes. 4 minutes was the longest. Like it was 4 minutes and some odd
Yeah.
seconds.
But
Was
the
the
people
win.
who stepped up to sacrifice, she couldn't get anyone. They got a second one. Xander said, "If there's a fourth, I will step up," and he stepped up too. So again, Xander doing a good thing. He probably
So
could have.
smart.
So smart. He doesn't need to win this. He has his thing. Let's do this, and we'll get the rice, right?
Right.
So those people did. I can't believe other people didn't do it. Didn't just I'll go sit
I've
down.
got to say though,
Because
with Xander,
people were
like
out just like that.
his voice, as of right now, I mean, his game might change, and we might see more come to light. But as of right now, it seems like he's one of those people where his voice does a really great job of covering up for him, because he doesn't sound as thought out as he clearly is. You know what I
Right.
mean? He sounds a little beachy
Yeah.
bro, like
Yes.
cool, but he's
He's not a bubblehead.
processing. Yeah,
No,
he's processing.
I had him all wrong. I thought in the first week, I thought that's who he was.
Yeah.
Right.
No, he's not. He's way smart.
Yep.
What does he do? Is he a student or something? What is he?
I
Do we
think he's a
even
student.
know?
I don't remember. It's in the I can look it up. You guys chat. I'm gonna find out for you because I know where it's at.
Because he surprised me too. So I'm watching his game start because like he had a good start of the game when he got the idol initial or we found that thing, and then it was like, oh shoot, he's in trouble. He's going to be in trouble. But now it's like his game, he's starting to come back, and I'm really liking him. I'm kind of rooting for him now.
But I was struck on how him and Evie and Tiffany just disintegrated. How the hell did that happen?
And it should.
I mean, you looked at the end of the previous episode. I would have thought those three were rock solid, ride or dies.
Okay, so I don't think that was a Tiffany thing. I think that was a Xander. They were working Xander with the idea that, well, Evie told everybody about your advantage. So
right. Yeah,
right,
because Xander wasn't originally attached to them.
And here's the thing. It's like, you know what? Regardless of whether she did that before, that last tribal, they worked well together. They have to continue to work together. It's like,
Xander is an app developer.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's a what?
An app developer. So he's developed
so he doesn't have a job.
An app.
So he doesn't have a job. I'm a professional.
He directs people to do things with the idea that he's had. So that could be a good thing.
But he seems to not be able to let go of the fact that Evie told people. So what Evie told people? Evie told people, and you still were able to take, even though people knew, you were still able to use that. Right. Better than anything. People knowing didn't.
And I'm sorry, but like right now, Xander is like what? 3 for 3 on like coming up with a great new Survivor phrase, like catchphrase. And I mean, that's fun on its own. You know how I feel about these kind of things. As long as there's no rapping, I am so there. But he has also managed to continue to hold on to these dang idols, because he's not making any major plays. What he is doing is constantly turning people's heads away from him to the person next to him over and over again. And he's doing it so smoothly, like just come on. So it's so good.
If they didn't know he had the idol, he would not have the idol right now. Because I think if they hadn't known he had the idol, they would have kept it on the down low. He may or may not have had it to play, known to play it, but he would have,
Right.
you know what I mean? He'd either been gone because they would have voted him out first, or he would have flushed it because he would have used it. They didn't vote for him. Because I think it would have been like that. Them knowing and then him playing the fake out with them. And then he didn't have to use it last night again.
No.
If
Yep.
he can still kind of like read them well enough and judge, they all know he has an idol. Do you think like, how are they going to get flush the idol? He's going to be okay. He's not going to have to play the idol, I don't think.
At
Okay,
some
and when
point
he
will.
said,
You think? I don't know. They have to decide like we have to all vote for him.
Okay,
when
so
he said, okay, so when he volunteered to have Erica take his place so she could eat, so he wanted to go check in that bench and see if there was an idol. But when he came back later, his confessional, he said that I wanted to take Erica's place because I knew if I sat down next to those who lost, to the losers, I knew I could get them in. I could rein them in. Like that's where my spot is. I can rein those people in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
And
there was
he sat out of both competitions.
right.
So he's also at the same time, because he has that idol, he doesn't really have to have immunity. He's not putting it in the forefront of their minds that he's the physical challenge beast.
He's not
either.
the physical threat right now.
Because he's not winning everything. Because he's not.
So I just did
It's
not.
kind of
I just didn't see this. I didn't see this. So I hope he keeps
But-
doing it. And I hope he keeps getting away with it.
But it's funny. I said earlier that it was like the tale of two Xanders. It's like he's brilliant and he's not, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the end was the tale of two Heathers. It's like, oh my God, she's tougher than I thought. Oh my God, she's a moron.
Like literally the first
What?
person she turned to and said, just stay calm, and go with it. That's who went home. And it wasn't like she intended for Tiffany to go. Like, why did you
No.
stir every pot?
I really thought with the way that she did that, but was that on purpose?
I think it was.
I'm okay. We didn't see everything before, but the way that they went and everything was supposedly okay, and then all of a sudden Heather loses her mind and gets up and starts. Wait! We're not voting yet.
Just loses it.
Just like how slow do I have to go?
Maybe she was. Is it possible she was angry at Nasser for bringing papaya because she doesn't like papaya?
Maybe.
And she's like,
Who
"Bring
knows?
that guy out."
Nobody knows who this Heather is. It could be for anything. It could
So
be
all of a
for
sudden,
anything.
She freaks out. She stands up. She's moving around. She's talking to people. She's trying to get people to vote this person, that person. I thought the people with her would get upset and be like, no, she needs to go. But that's not what happened.
Well, they talked about it. They talked about voting her out.
Okay, but see, that's
For half a breath.
were they really talking about it, or were they saying it so that other people would think that's what they were doing?
Yeah, that's true. It could have.
I don't know. It seemed too sloppy to be. I don't know.
Oh, you might be right about that. Like the whole thing was set up.
Yes, because they
It
had
was
kind
so
of
weird. Yeah,
they had
Well,
been set up
to
against
one end, they could have just voted her off.
to vote who off?
Tiffany.
Tiffany?
They didn't need to do all that subterfuge. If it wasn't going to flush an idol, what was the game?
but maybe
I
they thought
think
Tiffany
thought
was
they
still
were
holding on to it.
I think they thought they were going to flush his idol though, and then they didn't play it again. I think
Yeah.
they thought if we
You
can
play
cause
it for
enough,
Tiffany?
or
Well,
play
because
it for himself just because he didn't understand, because it seemed like everyone went to council and then all of a sudden everything gets
Because what were all the votes? Because Xander and her were like so it was all split. So there was two
There's
Xander,
for
two
Xander,
Heather, one Nasir, but there were 5 for Tiffany.
5. I thought it was just 4.
5.
I thought it was 4.
No, and somebody had 3.
No,
Did they? Mm-mm. 2,
I thought
2. Is it? Yeah, Xander and Heather got tied. Nasir had.
2.
Where did the Nasir vote come from?
2 people voted for this.
No, it was only 1.
4, 5.
Who voted for Nasir? Shan, because she was like, "Why didn't you get that papaya sooner?" So Rick Carr could eat my papaya.
And I like papaya, and you should go get it for me more often.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
yeah.
So weird. So weird.
So I don't know. It just seemed weird because out of nowhere, like Heather, she barely exists on the show, and then all of a sudden, last night, there's this whirlwind of frenzy, and I don't know.
And it's weird, right? Because like, how many times have we seen in Survivor? Like, okay, they think they know what they're gonna do, then they go to tribal, and somebody tries to stir the pot. And the person that tries to stir the pot's the one that goes home. It
Yeah.
changes. It's not the original target. It's the
Right.
person that decided to make everything confusing, and then they go. So maybe this was a setup.
And so if they're trying to flush out Xander playing his idol, they couldn't vote for Evie. And I don't know. So I think they do Tiffany, right? Because he showed that he was telling her what to do. So you
So
weaken
did they
him.
think he would
Right?
play the idol for Tiffany and then they'd have the votes for him?
Well,
Or
I
at the
think
very,
that's when they
or
were
at the
like,
very least, he would maybe play it for himself just in case.
well, that's why when in a couple of the group, like little whispers, you
We're
heard, we've got to
splitting
split the votes. We've got to
Yeah.
split the votes. Because I do think, again, they thought, well, Xander might play one that he's got, but Tiffany, we don't know if Tiffany still has that.
That's
And
why
they were really uneasy because
Yeah.
there was this whole big production at the beginning about, we don't know if we can trust these three. And I'm like, no, you can't. Just pick them off, because that's how it's done. Just pick them off.
Right.
Don't make it so confusing for yourselves. Like, there's 3 of them and there's like a billion of you. You got this.
super glad that Xander did not fall into that trap and he did not play his idol. Super glad that Evie won the immunity.
Yes.
Not really that sad to see Tiffany go, honestly,
I'm not either.
other than she was going to work with them, but whatever.
Well, but she sort of grew on me though. She was like America's most annoying player 2 weeks ago.
I don't know. Twitter, lots of people on the Twitter were like they loved her. They
Mhm.
want Survivor to bring her back another season, and I'm like, loved
Yeah,
her.
there's a
But
lot
what?
of people that we associate with that have talked about how she is she's grown on them too. Like,
Christy, I thought I told you about the Twitter. There's a lot of strange and unusual people on the Twitter. Big Brother is worse. If you like
Sure.
leave the Big Brother orthodoxy and point something out they don't like, they will descend like Wolverines.
they will
I will not
collapse the
argue with
world
them.
on you.
But when they say they loved watching her on the show, I'm like, what part? Because please just point. Maybe I'm not being fair.
Was she from Jersey? Because she had that like Jersey kind of attitude going on.
She's from over in those shores.
Yeah, no question.
She's from over there in that area.
She's from over there.
I don't know if it's Jersey.
Over there, Bergen County. I'm from there.
Maybe she's from Long Island.
Right by Stephen C.
Yeah, Long Island, I believe. Yeah.
Is it Long Island?
Well, that's New York. That's not New Jersey.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, I think it's Long Island. But you know what? Here's the thing. I didn't really feel that her game was awesome. I didn't really necessarily love any of her confessionals. I'm okay that she's gone. I don't like loathe the woman. There's plenty of players that I've disliked much more. Sure. I just okay, bye.
Whatever.
I thought she was interesting. That's what I'll miss. Is I didn't like her per se, but I thought she brought controversy and drama.
Seen much of her the last couple of weeks.
I mean, seriously. Give me a choice between Tiffany and Shan at this point. I'm taking Tiffany because I don't want to hear the whining.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the whining gets a little.
A little controversy, little stir in the pot. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and she sits there at Tribal and just lets people tell her exactly what to do. So, whatever you want me to do.
That's true.
And I give her a lot of respect. When she looked at Xander last week and said, "It's your idol, tell me what to do," and he did, and she listened to him. I went, you know what? That was a tall play. That was a good game play.
Yeah.
And he rewarded her with exactly no loyalty.
Well, what was he supposed to do?
Not even. I mean, he was betraying her before he got back to camp.
You get no loyalty.
Did anybody else feel like after last week that this was just sort of a bit of a letdown episode?
Yeah, I was like a little bit.
Because last week was so good, right?
Right. I definitely didn't hate it, but it seemed everything ran fairly.
I thought it was interesting to see how the next step from last week and how it continues to the fracture still there and what's. I loved
seeing all these new little inserts from Xander where he's showing some smarts. That was fun. It was fun to see that.
I can't believe that he was going to let himself get fractured from Evie and Tiffany. They should have stuck together, and they should have 100% pulled Erica and Nasir in.
You know
If
what's
they
good?
can't, so where's
I
he going to
always
go?
hate. I
He can't go
hate
with
when
Shan
there's
and Leanna. No.
so many times. Okay, this is like a silly breakdown, but I think it'll make the most sense. I get so frustrated in these alliance shows where there's always the one person that is sort of the Erica in the group. Like a perfectly nice person, but isn't doing much for the game, but she's like really friendly and gets along with most people. Like she's okay. Um and then there's like the one alliance that's like the meanies, and then there's like another alliance that's like the underdogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the like the top dogs, the meanies are the top dogs. They always push that Erica out every time, and that Erica just keeps their loyalty to that group, and it kills me every time. I'm like, no, step away
I
from
mean,
the
it says so
popular
much
kids
about their.
table because the
Well,
band
You'll
is
never
gonna
be
love
one.
you. Like,
but do you think that that's the only reason that happens, or do you think it's
no, I
like
think it's
they're like, I
inherently a
just.
psychological
Mm,
personality trait.
then yeah, that sucks. I thought it just says more about their character that they make
Yeah, I
promises
just
and they
always
keep
think
them.
it's always the same type of and you they're a likable person. They're so likable and you're like, "No, don't listen to them. They're going to play
And
you."
P.S. High school's over.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, like come on,
and
we've
there's
seen
people.
this.
Look, I'm 53, and you know, there's people at our country club who are still trying to hang out with the cool crowd in their high school,
Right? Yeah,
and they're like
it's just who
60
people
years
are.
old and are successful in
Here's
life.
the
But
deal: the cool kids at your high school probably really were never cool.
well, no, they don't want to be. They don't want to be with their cool kids. They just want to be with whatever the cool kid
They
group
were
is.
never cool to
They were
begin with.
never really cool.
Understood.
They were just as lost and broken as you were. They just had a way of like pretending that they weren't. Um,
Aw.
yeah. Um, so yeah, I thought last night wasn't that bad. It wasn't a bad episode. It was good.
I don't know. I was.
I
You
just
know,
want to see. I want to see what happens next week because they got to pull in those stragglers, and
Yes.
I
yes.
really hope that their editing is not just trying to string us along with this Shan Deshawn thing because I could totally see that blowing up, and that'd be fun television too.
Also, I hope that there's like
Oh,
at
Shan will
least
lose in that one.
I just want one
I think
really,
so too.
really great slow-mo. I want the slow-mo to count this time.
We've had 2 slow-mos. We've had.
They did.
Let me do the countdown of the slow-mos. We had the Ricard shot that meant
Miss.
nothing and missed,
Right.
and then we had the slow-mo of the hammer slowly coming down to change time as we know it with Black Sand.
It's probably
Right.
not even her.
And-
It's probably the same team that runs the relay races for the like how-to videos.
We had a slow-mo net last night.
Mhm.
What's that?
It was Danny jumping in the water.
Yes. That was pretty cool. And then but then we also had the
Look,
slow-mo.
I can understand people wanting to see that. I mean, it's not
the
my flavor of an egg. It's
unintentional.
all good.
You've got the unintentional slow-mos with Jeff going, "Let's vote."
Yeah, because are we done? Are we voting now? Are we
Okay,
voting now? I don't know.
what was up with Jeff having to hide the clue for like a minute and a half?
It was just fun. It was just fun.
I mean,
Is
couldn't
it
they
fun?
just,
Was it
every
fun?
other season they just show it and we go on and, you know.
That's
Well,
the
and
fun.
then-
It's the fun Mike was talking about. That was the fun.
That wasn't fun though. Jeff isn't, you know what I've determined? Mike didn't figure out that Jeff isn't fun. Right? So the fun needs to exist in the game, but not from Jeff.
Well, for a second, the way he was talking about the grilled cheese sandwiches, I figured that we had found the monster of the game.
I thought it was pretty cool though that the second that they're leaving, Jeff's like with the camera, like, okay, he didn't find this. And he's doing like he's talking to us, breaking that fourth wall there when showing him like he couldn't find the clue. I think that's interesting. Because
Yeah.
We're thinking it. And he's just saying it to make sure like we're going, did he find it? Did he find it?
Right.
Yeah.
And I am glad that he went over there because honestly, I thought like by the time we reached the last 2 on the relay and we hadn't seen him and we see the win and we never saw him.
It was over like
find
that.
it. Yeah.
Production didn't know that was going to go that quick. Didn't have chance to show him again because it was like, oh, it's over.
It's over. I thought that maybe we were going to get one of those things like we did with Nasir and his idol. Like, we don't know that he got it until it comes up at, I thought we're going to get a flashback maybe, but then, but Jeff pooped all over that party with his knowledge.
With his non-funness.
With his
So you know what? Maybe
non-funness.
the game isn't totally changed, but they've done enough things this season, I think, to freshen it up. So
And the reality is, so we have another season coming up in March.
Mhm.
So this is all obviously already done and filmed. I think March is already filmed, right? Like the next season's probably already filmed.
Mhm.
So I think that after this next season, we're going to see the things that panned out that people really did like about this
Right,
season.
for the real-time feedback. Yeah.
Right. That we're going to see where they implement changes or toss them out the window.
So do you think we'll
next
get
season-
one? You think the next season will be more of the same stuff? I hope so.
I think there will be. I think there'll be a little bit of it. Maybe it might be a little bit better because they recognize where things stir up the right kind of controversy within tribes versus just pain in the butts. How do you make a story out of this?
I'm as nervous as a golf on AstroTurf.
Oh my God. They need to get rid of that. That is just.
I was
That
thinking
was
about
monumentally stupid.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
a goat. It was a goat, not a dog. A goat on AstroTurf. Because a dog,
Did I say dog?
You said dog. A goat wouldn't be able to eat the AstroTurf, but it would want to.
I get it. I messed
a little
up.
less lowbrow. It's a little.
Can we also
the
just
body
talk
type.
about like a goat's digestive system? The goat's going to eat the AstroTurf. It's not going to be confused. It's just totally going to chew it up like it does everything else.
It's going to go, hey, that was some good AstroTurf. You got any more?
Like,
Yeah, no, they might throw some more little things out there. I think it'd be funny if one of these days Jeff comes out with like a little mini him, it's like a little tattoo welcoming people to the island. That might be kind of nice.
Like, they need to come up with codes with like they need to come up with like code words like or statements like, Jeff, I'm starting to think that this game isn't for me.
FYI, that was the thing that got picked as our from our tourism board of my state.
Nice.
The motto was going to be Nebraska, not for everybody. I swear to God. We were like,
if I heard that, I'd be like, yeah, I'm thinking that's me.
Are there
They're talking about me?
Are there T-shirts?
Not for everybody.
If there's T-shirts,
probably.
I want one.
Because that was like 2 years ago. Because everyone was like, "Oh my God, somebody got paid for that? That's
like,
horrible."
Like, I don't even kind of want a Nebraska not for everybody shirt. Like, I need Nebraska not for everybody shirt.
But yeah, it's kind of.
And then we can follow it up with Florida. It is apparently for anybody.
That's not what I thought it was.
Where
Florida, the penis of the United States, or more like the flaccid penis of the United States.
Florida man since 1941.
Hey, we have Florida. Hey, we are equal opportunity now. We got Florida woman down here now too.
Yep.
I had
just as fucked up as the Florida man.
I had moved to Florida.
I think when you have
we got Florida non-binary. They're
everybody is allowed.
We got Florida.
If you come to Florida, it doesn't matter who or how you identify. All that matters is
you're
that you're cuckoo bananas.
Cuckoo bananas.
If you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, come
on down. We got you.
We want you.
We'll
bake your bed in 98-degree heat for about a year and a half, and you'll be worse.
Oh, maybe that's why. I had only lived there a couple of years when the person had eaten the face off the other homeless person. A non-homeless person ate the face off of a homeless person because they had
Did he wash it first?
Bath salts. And I thought, like,
did he wash it first?
We don't know. And so I'm thinking,
the homeless person to be dirty.
First of all, there's so many questions here. How did the homeless person not know that his face was getting eaten and be able to run away?
Why did it take so long?
Like eating the guy's face. Like, how does that happen? Was the homeless person already dead or really had inebriated? I don't know. And then if you are a person who wants to eat the face off of another person, why would you choose a homeless person?
Right. There's so many
Also-
tastier people out there.
I'm not
See,
nothing
there it
not
is.
homeless
There it
person. I'm
is.
just saying, like, I
That's
want to
the
get
new
someone
code.
right
There's
when they're
got to
coming
be-
out of the shower or something.
There's
You know,
got to
like,
be
there's
tastier people out there. Sign
I'm
it to
just
Jeff.
saying,
Send it in.
Florida.
if I'm going to be a cannibal, I'm going for someone who bathes.
Right.
That's all
Like,
I'm saying.
yeah.
Well, I'm saying, hey, now Nebraska's got a shirt. Florida has his. Florida, there's got to be tastier people out there.
We haven't found them, but we'll like tastes like chicken. Anyway,
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, we're all crazy. Okay, so last night in our fantasy league,
Oh, God.
I had a really good night.
I'm going to step away while you talk about the fantasy league.
But you forgot to put your picks in. He forgot to put his picks in. And I will say that our positions really haven't changed. My sister's still number one, then Kim's Maggie and Mandy, then JP, and then me, which it's JP and me. I have been like that. And then comes Ro, and then Randy. Oh, no. I think comes Ro, and then you, if you add your 3 profiles together. And then,
oh my God, it's ridiculous.
And then Randy, and then Got. So Got is still, because he forgot to put his stuff in last week. we know what was happening.
It was all the gambling.
He was he was so busy trying to keep his dad from losing all the family fortune.
And then he had an anniversary. It was a very busy weekend.
He had an anniversary. Oh, he'll have to give us he really did run away. He used it for a potty.
This just in.
So anyway, so if you haven't made your picks, make your picks tonight. If you
do
haven't,
it tonight. Don't forget.
Or send them along on your phone. So
I did not forget to make my picks. I just figured I'd get 0 the easy way as opposed to the hard way.
Well, you don't know if you would have got 0. Maybe
I suck so bad this year.
Is it because is that a good thing though? Like not being so predictable? Maybe that's good. Maybe this is making for now Jamie's running away.
Jamie had to pee.
So maybe that makes for a better season when we can't just kind of.
No, I don't know. I've been mad ever since the first time I forgot and I lost my MVP.
Oh,
because then I knew I couldn't win. So
he's been bumming since Brad.
Yeah, you have forgotten.
No, it wasn't Brad. Who did I have as my MVP? And then I forgot to put in my picks, and I lost all the accumulated points.
Correct. But yes, you had Brad as your MVP.
No, I had Danny.
Oh, do you have Danny again?
I do, but he'd be worth like 90 by now.
You'll get there. Don't worry. JP has not missed a week. I missed a week. You missed 2. This is the only reason why JP is beating the 3 of us.
Am I last?
If JP can just keep moving every week into a new air vent and still make his picks.
Exactly. He's still
JP probably has somebody making his picks for him.
It's the same person who's picking out his furniture.
I actually think it's Nicole doing his picks.
It might be.
That's who I think it is.
She's pretty smart.
She's got it figured out.
She's smarter than JP, for sure.
Oh, poor JP.
He'd tell you that.
Chad.
I'm looking at who's left, and the only way we have an interesting season is if that group of 4 breaks up. They got to break up, so it reshuffles everything.
Yep.
They got.
Do you think we're gonna? Do you think like if you were to throw some strange new twist into the game at this point, like what would actually? Have you guys thought about it at all? Is there any like things that you would like to see in the game that would maybe do something? Well, we always sit here and complain about production's ideas all the time. Do we have any?
I think when Xander reveals to all the people that he's secretly an attorney in New York.
He's not an app producer or a bartender or a model.
He's an app producer and he doesn't even know what a login is.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. That's a good question though, Jamie. I don't know. I guess I don't really know, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what? I liked when they had them people going off to do something.
Yeah, I
wish they would.
like that too.
I wish they would do that now. It's like the
Yeah, but then
tribe.
it was the same every time. Then they were all doing the same thing, and they
But
knew what
not
to
Yeah,
for
they
that.
figured it out.
No. But then that's what you change up. You say, you guys have to pick 2 people. These 2 people have to go off to. Here's your reward. But you have to. These 2 people have to go off to get the reward or something, or bring
I
it
like
back.
the ones where they have to sneak away at night. I feel like those are high stakes and stressful.
Those are good too.
And Tony was so good at them.
It's just fun to see
Yes.
them
Oh, actually, he didn't really have one. He just snuck away at night because he liked to.
slithering around in the sand.
That man is just always out for an adventure, as whatever he could do.
Is that Elmo?
No, it's a recording of my 6-month-old laughing. It's also my bird. Like, that's my bird. It's my bird's talent.
Your bird just made that noise right now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, the birds figured out the text messaging alert, how to bark exactly like the dog. It's fun. Get a bird. Get a bird.
They lived for like 20 years.
Yeah, I know that.
This is what happens when you
I've
have
already
great
made
ideas.
one commitment this
They don't
lasted
make-
over 20 years. I'm not
They don't
making
make
it anymore.
they don't make good diapers for birds, so I think that's gonna be.
You know what's really funny is there's actually these things that people make and sell on Etsy, and people use them. Not me. I draw the line, but they are called poop suits for your bird.
like something to catch it when
So
they're
they can
out.
wear it. They can wear it while they're
that
flying around.
I just don't know. I just wouldn't want to find poop
They
all
look
over.
like
Because you want to
a
get them
little,
out and that's sitting on my finger, it's on my shoulder, or whatever. That's cool,
They
but
do
I just
that.
don't want.
Yeah, they
but
do
then
that.
they poop.
Not my
places.
favorite part. Not my favorite part. But yeah, you can get a poop suit and they can wear it. It looks like little overalls for a bird, and they fly with it. But
Do they like it?
A farmer bird.
I think if you have a bird from the point that they're a fledgling and they're wearing it, they're fine. But like birds are very, don't hug me,
Well-
don't hug me, don't hug me. They don't like
Well,
that.
they have feathers, and you don't want to ruffle their feathers. They don't like that.
There's a whole saying about it.
They don't like it. All right. Well, cool. So, David, you made it back safe and had a good weekend.
I did.
Good anniversary.
It was fun doing the podcast from the cruise boat. I couldn't hear you guys. I don't know how obvious that was at times.
You know what? You nodded and laughed at the appropriate places.
And then the whole group of people came up to play
Putt.
miniature golf.
But here's the deal.
10 o'clock at night, I'm like, I found this place on the boat where there was nobody.
But
And the
you
minute we started broadcasting, there were
They're all
20
there.
people.
But you were responding to us on things, and when you were saying stuff, it wasn't like out of left field. So you must be able to hear enough to know what we
No, I
did.
could hear it, but I was missing some parts.
Okay.
And you see,
Little
like,
bit.
I do this, and
Okay.
Sure.
No, you did a great job. Well done. Good. Majestic of the seas, right?
it may be the first Crazy Hank broadcast that was ever done at sea.
At sea.
And I think I should get like a medal for that or something. So somebody
like-
talk to Jack.
Some sort of participation.
Something.
Jack
I
loves the
feel like you
You know what's
deserve
funny?
some
If I
sort of
would've-
pirate name.
If I would have called in from
Captain
the
Jack.
plane, if I'd have called in from the plane going to Raleigh, if I hadn't been delayed, I would have done air, sea, and land for this
What?
podcast.
That's amazing.
Man.
But sadly, I was delayed.
Some other time. You'll have to have your trifecta some other
Drat.
season.
So where's my guy Gabe? Where's he gone? He's ghosted us.
I don't know what is going. Oh, they got my nephews, because Gabe is one of 3. They're triplets, and they got their first COVID shot today. So
Oh, good for them. Good.
yeah, they're very excited. They were very excited. I think they're very excited just to not have to wear a mask anymore, because
Right, sure. Freedom.
Yeah, so that's what they were
Freedom.
doing today. So I'm gonna guess tonight there's a lot of boo-boo arms and a lot of ice packs.
Ice packs and boo-boo arms. Yep.
Well, Gabe, we
exactly.
hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
We still want to know who your favorite player is. So
I
write your own
know.
email.
Tune in, Gabe. I had my booster on Friday and I felt a little bleh on Saturday, but not like the second shot.
Way
I did
better?
all right.
Oh,
Well,
good.
define a little bit. Like, could you have gone out and had cocktails if you really wanted to?
I mean, I don't
He was
know if it
super
was
sick
like
with the first one, so
I was super sick with my
that's why I was
second
like,
shot.
oh.
I got really, really yuck. But this one,
What did you get? Which one?
the Moderna.
All
But
three?
yeah, I've had now. This would have been my third.
That's
On
the
this,
best.
on the second one, I got the Moderna rash on my arm, and I had really bad side effects for like 14 hours. But this one, the majority of people that I know who had side effects, their side effects where I felt really run down and just kind of like really fatigued for the day. That's pretty much what I was on this third
And that's
shot.
okay
So
because you said you got the shot on Friday, so Saturday you kind of like, nah.
yeah, I could totally tell like I don't feel great. Like I wouldn't have wanted to go to who wants to go to work at any point if you don't feel great, but I mean like no, I don't think I would have had a good day at work. But
Yeah, but it's
staying
a
in my
Saturday. You stay at home, watch some
yeah,
TV, cuddle up on the couch, veg
exactly.
out.
It
That's
was doable.
perfect.
It was
Yeah.
fine. It was
Mm.
fine. If they were
Might
like
I
that every time, I
recommend?
wouldn't sweat it at all.
Might I recommend the 4400 reboot of the CW?
Ooh.
Surprisingly okay. Yeah, well, did you remember the 4400?
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
well, they rebooted it with
Okay.
a totally different cast.
Better?
Huh.
Lighter, a little less. Yeah, it's fun so far. I don't know. I'm only 2 episodes in, but
Okay.
I think there's only 3. So
See, and I just finished. I finished Lock and Key, the second season of that this last weekend, and I
Yeah,
thought
we just
I
finished
thought
that
it.
too.
I thought by the end it felt like a CW show. I was like, I
I didn't love it. I'm not gonna lie.
didn't
I'm
love
not
it. I
even
knew it was
I'm
fine. I want to see where the story goes, but it was starting to feel a little too teenager, and the first season didn't
Yep.
feel that way.
Yeah, also I just don't this is my number one complaint, and this is all I'm gonna say about it. If you're gonna have 500 keys and there's bad guys, please learn how to hold on to the keys when you fall. Just
Yes,
saying. We could
correct.
erase every problem if people could just hold on to the key or put it in their pocket. I mean,
Or how about every key you put it on a chain so it really never leaves your neck? You can't
if they
drop
could, you know
it.
what? They can go buy a lanyard for like $2.
Right.
I'm just gonna say,
They have these
magic
things
keys,
called,
hold on to them.
and they have these things called keychains, really
Yeah.
new and cool.
Super, super crazy technology.
A
Can't
lot of
believe
that.
that we're living in a generation that
I
has
know.
this technology.
It's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Pretty
I
pretty.
also watched the 3rd season of You on Netflix.
I'm in the middle of that right now. Yeah.
I
yeah.
haven't got past
It's
the
about
first
like the
one.
2nd season of You.
Okay. And I mean, I think I'm like 3 or 4 episodes in. It says in season 3. But
Did you guys catch the new Dexter?
that's what I was just gonna say. But now that he's got a kid, it's very much like the Dexter now.
Okay.
Did not.
I'm gonna give you my feeling on the new Dexter.
Yeah, let me hear it.
Ready? Meh.
On the new one?
Meh. It's got to get better because it couldn't get worse.
Well, okay. I'm just gonna like say that CGI deers are never a good idea. Ever.
It didn't
we
even
don't have
bother me.
Showtime, so-
What bothered me was the entire lack of a plot, the transparent bad guy. I mean, it just wasn't good.
He really wasn't a
I can't
bad
believe
guy.
they were. I really
He
can't
was
believe
the
they were.
He was just a drunken buffoon.
he was just a D-bag, dude.
Did he really need to die? I don't know.
And this weekend,
maybe it'll go somewhere.
anyone
somewhere.
gonna check out the Wheel of Time series?
I am very excited for that. I was trying very, very hard to go in and reread. I was like, I'm going to reread this because it's been a long time since I've read the first book. And this is adult life. I'm not kidding you. I sat for like 2 hours just trying to take in one sentence from a book, and I just
So this is
struggled.
what
I
you do.
couldn't do
This
it.
is what you do. You've already read the book, so
Yeah.
watch the show. When this season gets over and while you're waiting for season 2, then go back to the book.
Then go back.
You'll be excited again to read it again because you'll be excited from the show because
there you go.
good. And then it'll get you back in, and then you can do that compare contrast.
That's how I had to do it with Outlander. So maybe that's how this will go.
No,
that'll work.
The finest thing on TV in the last year was season 4, episode 1 of Yellowstone.
Oh, I haven't. That's a show.
The first hour was so fast paced. I sat and went, for
Nice.
40 minutes.
I know lots of people who love that show. I just haven't got to watch it yet.
It's outstanding.
Well,
I mean,
You
look,
don't have regular cables.
I loathe Kevin Costner. I loathe
too.
every Kevin Costner movie ever made, including Field of Dreams. But I like him in this.
Every Kevin Costner movie ever that he's done, except for the movie he made really when he was young called Fandango. That's the good one.
What about
That's a good
Waterworld?
one.
I bet you're a secret Waterworld fan. You're the one.
No.
The one Waterworld fan in the whole world.
No.
And then I do a double feature. I watch the Waterworld and then The Postman.
Oh God.
Oh, that's a bad movie.
That's a lot to take. That's like 4 hours of.
But let me tell you, Yellowstone, the guy who plays, or the gal who plays Costner's daughter, if she doesn't win an Emmy,
Really?
She's great in the first. Here's the deal. I have gotten as far as the first season because I started watching it when the kids went back to school. I was a season behind. But then COVID hit. So my kids have been home for almost 2 years and I haven't started it back up. So
You'll get back to it. Any of you guys watch the Scenes from a Marriage?
Mm-mm.
They're going to win all the awards. Those two are winning all the awards.
Think so?
Those two, I cannot tell you how many times that show made me cry. It was so spot on. She says things, they say things out loud that you've thought, but you would never say out loud because you think you're a horrible person.
Right.
Oh yeah, they say it. Oh, it's very good. It's very good. So I recommend that. And watched Maid a couple weeks ago. Did you guys watch?
I hear good things.
So good.
Yep,
How
I
about
loved it.
It really.
Jackets?
Which one?
Oh, I'm sorry. But talk about Maid. And we'll talk
Oh,
about
Maid. The thing I loved about it was how they show from the inside what it's like to navigate these social services, that these kind of like charities and groups that are out there to help those who need help.
But there's all these requirements in order to get the help,
exactly.
but you can't get the help without the requirements.
Right. It's like exactly. And so it's frustrating, and you think like all of these groups should work together so that they can help, and it should be like a stair step thing.
And instead they hate each other.
And it should be like, okay, I need help. I'm leaving this bad situation. So there's this step. Okay, now I'm going to do all of these things, and then I can move to this step. And then it should be like that, but it doesn't. It's like, how do I get a job if I can't get daycare? Well, you can't have daycare unless you have a job. Well, wait a minute, but how do I, right? But it's really, really good. It was really well acted. And that's, what's her name from The Leftovers, the daughter from Leftovers.
Yes, she was so great.
And what streamer is that on?
That was Netflix. And mom is Addie McDowell, and that's
oh my gosh, she was amazing.
That's her real mom. They're mom and daughter.
I didn't know that until this.
And I'm going to tell you right now, you feel the stress and the load that this woman is carrying because of how her mom is. It was so good. It's real good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would like to just put in my 2 cents on that. One of the greatest things about that show is sort of the same reason what I really love about Moana, and that is the fact that every progressive moment in her life that where she feels loved or embraced or any actual help that she receives to move forward is always from another woman. It's like the only people in this whole story of her life from the time she had her child on that helped her was herself and other women. And I just don't think that we talk about that tribe enough, about the help we can bring each other.
The guy wanted to help her. He was helping her.
He was a good guy. He was
really
a really good guy.
Yeah. Really a good guy.
Did you see Nomadland?
Which one?
Nomadland.
No. Yes. The movie.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But the same principle.
Amazing though. That one was really
good. Did I see Nomadland?
Yeah.
If you haven't, you need to sit down and do it.
Frances McDormand.
I don't remember if I saw it.
Frances McDormand living in her van, traveling around doing odd jobs.
Yeah. Yes, so I did, and that was really great. It was great. Yes.
Well, that's a whole subculture. That's a whole thing.
Yes. I actually do know 2 people that really truly live that subculture. So it was kind of fun to watch for that. So they're like they actually, some of these places were like real places, and these were real travelers that they weren't actors, they were real travelers. So like some people know them. Some of the people that I know
Yeah.
these people.
A lot of the people in that Nomadland movie were the actual people. They did not understand that
Right.
she wasn't an actress playing this. They thought she was who she was, and they were reacting to her in the real way that they thought that was her. No, this isn't a documentary. I'm acting. I'm an actress. And they were like, what?
Perhaps
anyway.
you've seen my work in Fargo.
Yeah, nope, they had not. So anyway, so that's kind of what we've been watching. I guess we'll probably wrap this up now. We're at an hour and 15. I wanted to go on, but we're good. Anything
If
else,
you're not
guys?
watching Survivor, we've now given you a list of things that you might
Well,
enjoy.
I mean, Survivor's just 1 hour a week.
Yeah.
And then they come and listen to us.
When
and
it's
that's another
done,
hour.
there's all these other hours you could be
And there
watching
are no
these great
feeds
shows.
like Big Brother where you can just sit all day and watch it.
There's not.
True.
So there's some
I
other
think I'm
quality
getting the
things out
feeds,
there.
next year. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Are you?
You should. It's a
So
very
this
different
year-
experience. It brings
This
something
year,
different.
well, he dove into the Twitter pool this year, so now
Oh my
he's
God.
ready to.
The Twitter pool, and let me tell you, the water was not warm. The water, if it was warm, it was because someone peed in it.
They all pee in it. But the thing
Everyone
with
pees in it,
the
man.
Twitter feed is once you're in the Twitter feed, do you even need the live feeds? Because
No, you
They
can
pretty much-
trust me. I knew up to the second what was going on.
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
why pay?
It sort of ruined the show in a lot of ways for me because there was no surprises.
Well, it does take away
Well-
the surprises, but the reason why you go into the show with any excitement is because you want the diary confessions. You
Right.
want to know what you see what they're projecting and what they're acting to other people, but you want to know, are they really believing this? Are they really believing what this person is saying?
Yeah,
So,
you're not wrong. That's a good point.
so that's fun
You don't
when
get
you
it
get
all
that.
in live feeds.
Yeah, when you get that, when you're like, oh my God, they actually did believe that, or no, they were on it on the whole time. So, yeah. And
Those
they're
are a
going to
lot
be
more-
starting Celebrity Big Brother
February.
in
February 3rd.
February 3rd.
but no announcement yet on who are celebrities.
When is the finale of Survivor?
December 15th.
So we'll have a couple weeks.
A little gap. And then Amazing Race starts.
I've never watched that show.
What?
Amazing Race start. Oh my! This is your year. You're gonna watch it this year. You gotta watch it, David.
Are Rachel and Brandon going to be on it?
Probably not.
They have some adorable ass kids.
I
have
know,
to say
they're
that.
so cute.
Their
They
kids
are
are
so
absolutely adorable.
That little girl looks exactly like her. It's spooky.
I know.
You go like,
Did you notice the back of the photo? Like the whole background was like not ruffled properly. It was like I couldn't even look at the picture.
It was so weird that I noticed that. It was just like I
so
did. I
bad.
noticed that. So
well,
weird.
because you cannot create the illusion of paneled wood if it's not flat. Hello.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many stories to tell you about that.
Somebody
background.
got
I don't even know.
And then but then she tweeted that. That got back to them. Somebody there.
Oh, I'm already on it. I'm already on this. I am finding out where. I'm finding out where. I'm gonna find out who.
They live in Chicago, right? They're in Chicago, right?
I don't know if they've moved. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know if they were just visiting. Were they just visiting Alabama during all the tornadoes? I'm not sure.
Oh gosh. No idea. No
Okay,
idea.
if you guys don't watch Big Brother, you don't know what we're talking about. But if you watch Amazing Race, we're talking about Rachel and Brandon, and then you probably know who we're talking about. I think Rachel's been on Amazing Race
right?
5 times.
Rachel.
Team Rachel.
Back in the day.
And then she also went on it with her sister. Both.
Yes. Yep.
So anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. So awesome.
Lots of
All
stuff
right,
coming
guys.
up.
Yep. With that, so we got about a month left of Survivors, that's crazy. How is there only a month left?
I know.
Wow. And then we'll get a little break off for the holidays, come back with Big Brother and more Survivor in March. So
Big days, big times. When it's winter and there's nothing to do but stay inside and stay warm unless you live in Florida.
What is this winter for which you speak?
Hey, Jeannie, question.
What is it?
Since Sydney went home, I don't think we asked this. Who's your MVP now?
Deshaun, actually.
Oh,
Yep.
He
better cool his jets.
Deshaun is going home.
Deshaun.
This vote was made, by the way. I made this decision. He was my number 2 in the back of my head for a while. So when he bumped right up, and I felt pretty good about it. But this week, I'm like, woo, calm down just a little bit.
No, he was good after the whole
You realize
of the
Deshaun's role at this point, he's Danny's meat shield.
See,
And
I
Danny-
kind of
Danny's
figured
his
that
meat
Danny
shield.
was his meat
No,
shield.
the other
That
way
was
around
my
now.
thought. Yeah, we'll see.
And David, who's your MVP?
Huh?
Who's your MVP?
Danny.
Okay,
Danny's
you did pick.
saying
You
Danny.
did pick. Okay.
Well, nobody again because I forgot to put him
Oh.
again.
Well, who
so
are you
funny.
going to pick? Who are you going to pick?
I'll pick Danny, but it doesn't matter. I've lost.
You haven't. You'll be fine. Just somebody turn JP's internet off.
Who is JP's? Who's JP's pick? Who's his win? Curiosity. And then I want to find out if it matches your sister's win. And then I'll know if I feel confident about it or not.
Oh gosh. Okay. hold
Things
on.
I care about less than JP's pick.
Okay. So,
There are
gosh.
so few things I care about less than JP's pick.
Aw, poor JP. No respect. Okay, wait. JP. Oh, JP has Shan. So
Oh, ew,
Oh, well, that would figure.
that could be tough this week. We'll
and
see.
my sister has Danny, so you can't catch up with her if you guys have the same
Yeah,
person.
this is Gabe picked it, and Gabe and I are boys.
Probably.
Gabe knows things. Gabe
Gabe
knows
knows
things.
Yep. And Jamie's got Deshaun. Randy picked Xander. Mandy has Ricard. Maggie also has Danny. Lots of love for Danny. But I still have Evie. We're gonna see. We're gonna see.
You know what? This is what I like. I don't feel like
Should've
any of
been.
us have. I don't feel like any of us have really bad choices as our. I don't. I mean, yeah, we're halfway through the game, but like I think we all.
Yeah, we're all on like our third, but
I'm
I
still
think we
my
got good ones.
first. I'm still my first.
Yeah, you. Yep, she's still with her
and
nut.
we're
Yeah.
on our
First
second.
one.
Because I felt like Evie was smart enough that she could kind of like. I didn't think she'd be able to do physically what she did last night.
Right.
I didn't think she had that in her, but I thought she might be able to do enough to kind of like be in that safe middle
Yeah.
ground where people underestimate her, don't really see her as a threat.
Yeah.
Like that's what I thought. But I thought she's definitely gonna be smart. Plus, she's an anthropologist, and I just thought that was really cool because
That's
you know,
fun.
because
Yeah.
she studies people. She can like be like, yeah. Anyway, all right, cool. Anything else, guys?
Not for
That's
me.
the lot. That's the lot for this week.
All right. Yeah, that is. Join us next week, same time, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Subscribe below. You'll get notifications once we come live. Come into our live chat it up with us. You'll get featured and maybe a shout out. And maybe you'll become David's new guy. You never know.
No, Gabe's my guy.
Follow us on Twitter, and we're out of here. See you next week, guys.
Later, taters.
Bye.